What's up, guys? It's been a super long time, but it is that time of the year again. I'm going to be giving my predictions on which team is going to end up on their win totals this season. Will they make the playoffs? And official, of course, my Super Bowl prediction. We did get it right last year with the Chiefs and Eagles, and I also predicted the winner correctly. But can we do it again? It's going to be pretty tough, but we can see how we can do. Didn't do too great on my win totals last year, but I have a way better feeling about this season. Here it is on my final predictions of each team. Alright guys, so last year I did do a spin wheel, but this year I'm just going to go straight down the line from all of these teams, and I do apologize for the ads. They're actually very annoying. I don't remember this being that much of an issue last year, but here we'll get on into it. We will start with the NFC West Arizona Cardinals. Now I do have a little bit of a cheat sheet in front of me as well, but because there's been so many things that have happened this past offseason, which this paper is honestly very bad to read. But honestly, I've not really looked at much of the team's schedules as well, so I'm going to make this a little bit harder on myself. But with the Arizona Cardinals offense, I'm not too sure how much I still believe in it. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is definitely going to have a pretty good year as well. With Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch, it's, I don't know. I don't really know how much I believe in the Cardinals. I think this team could maybe make a playoff push late, but I think they're going to come up just short. I like this team with exactly 9 wins this season. I have them finishing at 9-8, and they will miss the NFC playoffs. They'll be just short. I think they'll be a game back. I cannot remember what the record was last year, but either way, I do think, once again, that the Cardinals will be missing the playoffs. I believe they missed them last year. I think they did. But either way, Cardinals, I'm not a fan, and I think they will be out. Okay, so now I will be going with the Atlanta Falcons. I do have some of the records pulling up here. Last year, the Atlanta Falcons, they were finishing at 8-9. Michael Penix got that starting role, and looks like he will be starting for this season as of right now for the Falcons. But do I believe that will change? Absolutely. I see Kirk Cousins eventually coming back in this season. I'm not too sure how much I believe in Michael Penix. I'm very sorry, Falcons fans. I think it's going to be an interesting season. Will we see Kyle Pitts finally get more involved? No, probably not. Everyone is on the hype train for Bijan and having a sensational year, which I think can definitely happen. But I'm just not sure. I mean, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod, once again all together. I think Drake London could really have a good year. I like this team as well in the 6-9 win category. They will not make the playoffs. I like this team as the same as last year, but I think they'll be a little bit worse on the record-wise. The NFC South, though, is definitely probably one of the easiest divisions in all of the NFL. So I like this team once again, but almost once again. I like them though this year with only 7 wins. I think they go 7-10 this season, and they will miss the playoffs. I'm not a big Falcons believer. They're in an easy division, but they're going to need a lot more to go. Like I said, I've not looked at any of the team's schedules this year besides Dallas's, because obviously they're my team, but still, I'm not on the Falcons and Michael Penix hype train. I don't know how much people are, but I'm definitely not. 7-10, missing the playoffs. All right, up next, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Probably, I think, one of the most talented teams probably in all of the NFL. I have very, very, very high hopes for the Baltimore Ravens this season. Of course, they are in the AFC North, a very, very tough division. But there's a lot at stake right here this year for Baltimore. They did, that's right. They did get DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, I think that's where I swear, either washed receivers are going to Baltimore or they're going to Tennessee. I swear that's where they go. But I still have a lot of high hopes right now for Lamar Jackson. I think this team's going to be very good. I want to give them 14 wins, but with being in a very tough defensive division, besides Cincinnati, I like them right dead on at 13 wins. I think a 13-4 season will be very good for them. I think they will win the AFC North this year. They were at 12-5 a year ago. I'm giving them one more win this year. I'm at 13-4. Baltimore Ravens squad, AFC North champs, and of course, yes, they win the division. Yes, they will be making the playoffs. All right, now, a team, can they get over the hump? That is the Buffalo Bills, obviously. They have not done it for years. They were 13-4 last year. The Buffalo, they went and got Amari Cooper, but it's Amari Cooper. It didn't help them. I've been saying it for years that the Bills have needed a receiver. Shakir Coleman, and now they got freaking Joshua Palmer. Really? I mean, I would have rather stuck with Amari Cooper than Joshua Palmer. But it's not much help. Josh Allen needs a really stud receiver. That's what's missing on this team. They have good tight ends, but that's just what's killing them. They need another receiver. Josh Allen cannot do it on his legs and the arm. James Cook's a great running back, but the Bills just need more. They need more. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win the division. I'm not worried about that at all. But I like this team this year. I like them with 12 wins, 12-5 this year. Bills, they win the AFC East once again for I don't know how many years in a row. And of course, yes, they make the playoffs. But can they get over the hump of losing to Kansas City? We'll see. All right, next, the Carolina Panthers. Probably one of the just blood teams, of course. There's nothing special. I mean, they got Rico Dowdle this past season. They got that Trevor Etienne, of course. I mean, they have a lot of people actually really on this depth chart I have in front of me, but probably actually one of the most besides Green Bay, but holy cow. But they got a lot going on. I think the Panthers will be definitely a little bit better this year. Like I said, they're in the NFC South. It's a very bad division. No playoffs, not a chance. But I like this team getting 6 wins this season. I think their offense and Bryce Young might connect a little bit better this year, but I give them right now max 6 wins. I'm just not all about, I don't know. They need a lot of help. What was the record last year? I actually can't even remember. They were 5-12, so 6-11 this season. I'll give them an extra win. I think their offense will be a little bit more complete. They got Chuba Hubbard now, they got ETN, and then they got Rico Dowdle. So I think this offense can be actually pretty decent, but they're going to take years to develop. So easy and quick, 6 wins, no playoffs, no nothing for the Panthers. Just another win from last season. All right, next up, we have the Chicago Bears. No more Keenan Allen. We got DJ Moore, of course. Wow, of course. We have Romeo Dunze, and then we have Luther Burden III that they drafted. Of course, and you got DeAndre Swift in there, of course, and then Caleb Williams. So, for this team, the Bears were not good. 5-12 last year. I'm going to keep them in this section right here. I like him at 6 wins, or maybe 6-7 wins. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I had to get that out. But the Bears, they're just not complete. They're not a complete team at all. I don't see them going far at all. And this season, it's going to be another slump. They were obviously off to a good start last year, but now they lost Keenan Allen. I still think he has a lot of good. I think he still has a couple good years left in him. But it's going to be a quick season for Chicago. It's not going to be as good as it was last season. They'll be over 6-11 at best, and then maybe 7 wins the ceiling. So Bears, no. Oh boy. Our next one we have up is the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. I think everyone knows is defense. Defense. It's something the Bengals will not have this season, is defense. And now are they going to get Trey Hendrickson back? We have no idea. And of course, Sam Hubbard announced his retirement earlier this season. That was definitely a surprise to me. That was kind of out of nowhere, unless I missed something. But either way, the Bengals they're going to have a really great offense, but they're going to have a really bad defense. I almost want to give this team 10 wins, but I think that's a little generous, to be honest. I almost see this team being 9-8 once again. And just the biggest thing is, can this team, what can they do to not get off to a bad start every year? I mean, this team is 0-2, 0-3, 1-3, 2-5 every year, to start. Why? I don't understand that. The Bengals take so long to develop to get their seasons going, and that is why that's why there's just times where they miss the playoffs late. This team is always off to a slow start, and I almost think that might continue is just because of with this bad defense. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to give this team 9 wins. I think they're going to go 9-8 once again because their defense is really bad. I could be wrong. I don't want to say this team's going to miss the playoffs, but I think they do. You got to get some defensive help. Whether if they get a freaking deal done with Henderson or not, I still don't think this team makes the playoffs. It's the Bengals. Their offense is great, but can they also stay healthy? We'll see. Bengals, I'm sorry. It's 9-8 again, and it's no playoffs again. All right, next up, we have the Cleveland 2,000 plus quarterback Browns. How many quarterbacks are on this roster? This team is going to be good again. They were 3-14 last year, but I'm going to give them a little bit more wins than that. I can't believe we haven't had teams with 5 wins, but the Browns are now going to join that category. I think the Browns max out with 5 wins this year. 4 or 5, I believe, but there's nothing really spectacular about Cleveland coming this year. There's obviously no playoffs. I think Joe Flacco can be pretty decent with this team, but I'm just no more Nick Chubb. I mean, either way, they didn't have him really last year at all. The receiving core is just bad. They have Jerry Jeudy and then an inconsistent Cedric Tillman who can be good sometimes. They did get a great tight end from Bowling Green. That dude is an absolute monster. Fannin Jr. is an absolute stud. I think that's a great signing. But either way, and they got Njoku, of course. But either way, though, this team is not great. They did re-sign Myles Garrett, of course, but it's the Browns. I mean, you know how it is. So a quick season will be over for the Browns. They'll get a little bit more wins, either 4 or 5. I'm going to go with 5 wins max, no playoffs for the Browns in that pathetic front management of that office. Good Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially time. The Dallas Cowboys. It's our year, right? No, it's not. It's not our year. I mean, is it ever our year? I mean, seriously. I know I said I did know the Cowboys schedule, but I'm going to go over it once again. I could do this actually for some other teams, but that's too much to go. The Cowboys schedule, I don't think is that bad. Definitely very competitive towards the end of the year, especially with they can never win out west against Denver. Cardinals can always be a decent game. They have the Eagles, of course, and they have the Chiefs, the Lions, and then the Chargers is always interesting. We're at Washington at the end of the year, so it could be pretty interesting with Dallas. But this team 90% of me is confident that this team will actually be in the playoffs this year. I'm very confident in Dallas. I see this team with either 10 or 11 wins. I have actually, if we stay healthy with Dak. Obviously, last year was definitely over when Dak got hurt and our defense was just bad. Losing Dan Quinn was not the move. We're going to see how Brian does at head coach this year. But either way, we'll see. I have confidence in this offense. I think they can be good. The biggest thing is can we get the running game going with Miles Sanders or Javonte Williams? Williams, I believe, will be the starter. I'm still upset the fact that Deuce Vaughn is freaking on this roster. Like why? I mean, why is Deuce Vaughn on this roster? He's a waste. There's no reason he should be a part of this roster anymore. It's a joke. I'm sorry. I love the guy. I have so much respect for him, but please get him off this roster. It needs to stop. It's just, we can't do it anymore, dude. He needs to get out. He needs to leave. He needs to leave Dallas. I want to see Cavonte Turpin get a lot more involved with this offense. I think they will keep doing that. But like I said, with George Pickens getting signed is insane. I'm hoping Jalen Tolbert can really get more involved and getting better. I'm kind of waiting for him to kind of break out. We'll see. But either way, I think Dallas, I have a max at 11 wins, but I think they do finish with 10. I see a 10-7 season with Dallas. If not, 11-6, and yes, they will be making the playoffs. Okay, next up, we have a surprising team that completely took me off guard last year, is the Denver Broncos. A 10-7 season last year, they made the playoffs for the first time since winning the Super Bowl back in Super Bowl 50. We'll see how they do. I mean, they did get some receive help. They got Pat Bryant from out of Illinois. I think that Bo Nix definitely needs some help on that receiving core. Like I said, Marvin Mims, But, of course, you have Cortland Sutton. We're going to see how R.J. Harvey does as well, that running back gain, or who's going to get the start, or J.K. Dobbins, who knows. But they're in a tough division. The AFC West is very tough. It's going to be interesting to see how this team does. I want to give them 10 wins, but I almost want to give them 9 or 8. I don't know. I see this team making the playoffs, but I don't see this team making the playoffs. Either 2 or 3 teams out of the AFC West will definitely make the playoffs, but we're going to see who. I don't know. I really don't know. This one, I almost didn't want to do the Broncos yet. It's like I kind of wanted to do them later. I kind of wanted to do somebody else out of the AFC West first, and just other teams in general. But I don't know. This team's a little tricky, but they have a really good defense. I really want to give them 9, but I want to give them 10. What do I want to do? You know what? I think the Broncos finish with 9 wins this season. I'm going to give them 9. They're going to go 9-8. Playoffs. I'm going to go No. I think the Broncos just miss out on the playoffs. They're going to come up just short because I think the AFC West, has gotten a little bit better during the offseason. I think they barely miss out late. 9-8, just miss it. They're going to have a good year, but I think Bo Nix might struggle a little bit. I'm going to have the Broncos missing the playoffs and 9-8, like I've said 20 times now. But no playoffs, no nothing for the Broncos. Sorry, guys. Huh. All right, next up. This one's going to be quick for me. Bang, Lions, 10-13. What a great year they had last year, but of course they lose both our coordinators for it. But I think Jared Goff is still going to have a decent year. I think they're still going to be as dominant as ever. I don't think much is going to change with this team. They're just, their offense is very good. So I think this team will have 12 wins this year. 12-5 for the Lions. They're going to have 3 less wins, but they will make the playoffs. Maybe they might win the division again. We'll see. But either way, the Lions will be playoff bound again. I think they're going to have a great year, but they're not going to have 15 wins this year. Not a chance. But I'm going to have them at 12-5 next year and in the playoffs. And then right behind them is the Green Bay Packers. Now, this team, it's going to be a 2-team race for the NFC North. I like the Packers a lot this year with their draft choices for the wide receiver. They have that Golden. So I think that was a great signing for them. I really like the Packers this year. I think they're going to be pretty good. I don't know who's going to win the North. It's really honestly almost a coin flip right now. So I like the Packers as well. I think they're going to have 12. I think they're also going to be 12-5 or 11-6. One or the other. I think anybody between those two, any of them, those two can win the division. It's going to be either one. I'm not sure when that these guys do play. I'm honestly going to check real quick to see when these two teams play because I'm very curious what's going to happen at the end of the year. So these two teams' last game they play each other will be, it looks like that Thanksgiving weekend. So they're going to play each other significantly early in the season is what I'm getting at. So yeah, the week 1, these two teams clash off, but they don't play until the last time they play each other will be during Thanksgiving. So it's going to be interesting how these two teams play out. So I think either one of them can win the division. So I like the Packers either at 11-6 or 12-5. All right, so now we have some AFC East teams here. We have 3 of them in a row, so happily, but this is going to be a simple choice for me. The AFC East champs right here will be easily the Houston Texans. I think this is either the worst or is the second worst division in all of the NFL. Once again, the Texans are going to run away with this division. I think it's going to be over by Thanksgiving weekend, literally. I like the Texans easily. CJ Stroud and Nico Collins going to connect, I think, very well. Just hopefully that team can stay healthy because I know they had some injuries last year. But they already know they're having some issues right now with Joe Mixon. I'm not too sure what the word is on him right now. But they also did get rid of John Mechie, which wasn't, I don't think, that much of a big a loss. They did sign Christian Kirk, so that's actually not a bad signing. So I like this team a lot. Hopefully they can just stay healthy. That's their biggest thing. They have a pretty solid defense, especially on that line. But either way, I like the Texans at 11-6 this season. They will win the division, and of course, easily, they will make the playoffs. Oh boy. Colts fans, does it get worse? I'm so sorry. Anthony Richardson goes down with a preseason injury with his finger, and Daniel Jones is a starting quarterback. It is going to be a rough year for Indianapolis. I have no faith in this team. All they have is Jonathan Taylor right now on that offense because Daniel Jones is quarterback. So right now, Mr. Pittman and Josh Downs are in a lot of trouble. They got Tyler Warren, but it's not going to help them much. I'm not a big fan of the Colts right now. I think they're maxed out at 5 wins. They're going to be bad. They're in a bad division, but it's not going to be a good season for the Colts. It's going to be really quick. They're going to be 5-11 or 5-12, excuse me, at best. And yeah, I'm not on the Colts train. 5-12, no playoffs. Bad season for Indianapolis. All right, and then our next up is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this team will actually be better than the Colts this year. They were 4-13 last year, but it's Jacksonville. It's they have Travis Hunter. Who am I kidding? Jaguars, same category as the Colts. I think the Jaguars will either be tied or they might finish a game above. The Colts may win 4 games. Jags win 5. I don't know. I have the Jaguars going also 5-12. I don't think they're going to be very good this year. Their offense is trash. Brian Thomas is their probably their best player. But yeah, not much to say about these two teams that we've had. Jaguars are not going to be good. They're not going to make the playoffs. Let's just get to the Chiefs. Which, who wants to hear more about the Chiefs? Because I don't. But I've yet to have a team all the way up here at the 14-17. Nobody I have really liked getting that high up there. But we'll see how this goes. The Kansas City Chiefs, of course, will make the playoffs again. I'll say that. I'll get that right out of the way, unfortunately. They'll still be a great team. They got Pacheco, Hunt, and then Elijah Mitchell, of course. I mean, they signed Elijah Mitchell this past offseason, so we'll see how that goes for Kansas City. No more DeAndre Hopkins with this team. They just also traded Sky Moore, but I don't think that's anything insane. We'll see how these receivers do stay healthy-wise, but I do like the Chiefs as well. I'm going to put them right up here. I think 13 wins is perfect for Kansas City this season. I like them right there at 13-4. I think that's very fair. I don't think they get to that 15-win column like they did last season, but the Chiefs will be good. I think they do win the West barely over the Chargers, but it's going to be pretty close. But I think the Chiefs have a good season again, of course, and they'll have 13 wins and 4 losses. And we're staying in that division once again, the Chargers. Now, the Chargers might be a very sleeper team this year. I don't know. With Jim Harbaugh really taking over that team, I think they can be pretty good. Mario Hampton now on the roster. With Najee Harris is kind of but we'll see who gets that start. I think it will be Hampton, but you got Ladd McConkey and you got Mike Williams coming back, but I thought he retired. I'm really confused. Did Mike Williams retire? I'm so lost. I don't know. But anyway, and you got Johnson, But I think their offense is pretty good, but how consistent can the Chargers be? Last year, they're 11-6. I like them right in that category. I think this year they finished with 10 wins. I think they go 10-7. But like I said, I think the Chiefs do prevail in that division, just seeing how it goes. But I like the Chargers in double-digit wins, 10-7, and making the playoffs. Okay, so I did confirm, yes, Mike Williams went back to LA and then retired to Chargers. So yes, that's what I thought. I was like, wait, did Mike Williams retire? Why is he on the depth chart? So yeah, moving on now to LA Rams. So this one is pretty interesting. I like this team in the playoffs, and I almost like them with 10 wins. The Rams, I think, could honestly probably win the NFC West this year. Very high on them winning the West. I think they kind of have a clear path on winning the West. Especially with Stafford, you have Kyren Williams, Blake Corum, you got Puka, of course. Now you have Devontae Adams, Tutu Atwell. I like this team. Under Sean McVay, I think they can be pretty good. I like them double-digit wins. I think I like them at 11-6. So I think the Rams do take the division. I think it's theirs to win. I think it's simple enough as that. I like the Rams up there. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. And yeah, I find them winning the division, making the playoffs. All right, so we move on out to Las Vegas. Probably one of the teams that have put in the most off-season changes. Head coach now is Pete Carroll. You got Geno Smith at quarterback. Of course, they drafted Genty, so we'll see how that goes for them. The only thing is, I'm not the biggest fan of the receivers. They got that Jack Beck from TCU. We'll see how that goes for them. But then, of course, you have Brock Bowers, who's a great receiver. I don't like this team making the playoffs this year. I definitely like them as a 6-9 win. I'm going to give them. I want to give them 7, but I want to give them 8. I'm going to go with 8 wins for the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to go 8-9. I really want to give them 7 wins. So they're just really just redeveloping. They're 4-13 last season. They will improve, but not that by much. They'll always win 7 or 8 games. You know, I'm going to go 7. I'm going to go 7-10 for the Las Vegas Raiders. They need more wide receiver help. I'm just not a fan with their drafting wise. So Genty, I think, could be good, but we'll see how that goes. But with Geno Smith, he did well with Seattle. It's a big difference going out to Las Vegas. You got Pete Carroll as head coach. So we'll see how they do. Not a fan. 7-10, no playoffs for the Raiders. The Miami Dolphins. What a disappointment they were a year ago with that offense. I mean, obviously Tua could not stay healthy, and that was a big problem. So how healthy can Tua stay? That's the biggest question. I'm not a fan of this team. I think they missed the playoffs again. I don't believe in Miami at all. We'll see, because Achine's already is banged up is what I'm getting at. So we'll see how this offense goes. Yeah, but Darren Waller's back with him. Weird. When Johnny Smith has actually had a really good year at that second half of the season. So Either way, I'm 6-9. I think is perfect for this team. I think the Dolphins do miss the playoffs again. They were 8-9 last year, and I almost want to give them that same record. So I think it's going to be an 8-9 or 9-8 Dolphins team. I can't make my mind up. I'm going to go, if they stay healthy, 9-8. If they don't stay healthy, 7-10. Dolphins, I just can't get on the hype train. Darren Muller we'll see how Darren Muller does. So, I don't know. Dolphins missed the playoffs. They're lucky to maybe even get second in the division, honestly. I'm just not a fan. No playoffs for Dolphins. All right, so this team, what in the world? The Vikings were freaking amazing last year. What happened? Well, Sam Darnold happened. They were 14-3, just missed out on winning the division, but they were good. They were literally good, but not this year. JJ McCarthy is not taking this team to the promised land like Sam Darnold did. I am worried sick for the Vikings this year, actually. I know it doesn't make sense, but, I mean, they have Aaron Jones still, but I don't know. I mean, Sam Howell's now the backup quarterback. Oh, man. I'm not a fan of the Vikings this year. I'm going to go 5-11. I think this team is going to drop off like crazy. I have no faith in the Vikings this year, unless they somehow prove me wrong with JJ McCarthy, but I have no faith in him. I don't see this team being anything special, and it's going to be a rough year for the Vikings fans from last year. Sorry, Minnesota. We're not doing the skull chant anymore. It's over. All right, next up is the New England Patriots. Everybody is right now looking like Trayvon Henderson was a great pick for this team. He's looking pretty sensational in preseason play. They got Stephon Diggs as well, but how much can this team really improve? You know, I like them getting 7 wins this year. I think the Patriots go 7-10. They're going to have a better season than they did last year. But we'll see how they do. They're 4-13 last year. We'll see how Drake May does under center. I see an improvement year for New England. I think 7-10 is literally perfect for this team. No playoffs for New England. They'll be out. So we'll see how that goes for them. But either way, they'll improve, but not enough. Now it's time for the worst team in the NFL. New Orleans Saints will be bad. The Saints is my pick for the worst team in the NFL. Why? They don't have a quarterback. The Saints will be bad. Tyler Shaw will be getting the starting quarterback role. Rattler's the bench guy, and you have Kamara, of course. Wow, they signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I didn't even know that, actually. Chris Olave needs all the help in the freaking world he can get. Welcome back, Brandon Cooks. You know, why not bring back freaking Jimmy Graham to this point? Good Lord. I have no faith in the Saints. I want to give them 2 wins, but I think they're in a bad division. So 3 wins max for the Saints. I see them at 3-14. It's going to be a bad year for them. Yeah. Bad year incoming for New Orleans. They will be the worst team in the NFL. That is my pick. And if they may get 2 wins, that's it. But I think 3 is perfect for them. So 3 wins for the Saints. No playoffs, obviously. But my pick for the worst team in NFL this season. So next up, we have the New York Giants. Of course, they signed Russell Wilson this past offseason. Malik Neighbors, I think, could have a pretty good year with him under center. Just how much can they connect and how much can this offense be good? Tyron Tracy, of course, not actually done a bad running back, honestly, but this team's just kind of bled to me. I almost want to give them 6 wins, but it's the Giants. Russell Wilson's under center. I think 6 wins is honestly perfect. But I want to give them 5, but I don't know. I really don't know. It's either 5 or 6. 5 or 6. They will not get 7, and they'll get more than 3 or in 4. So, no playoffs for the Giants. I'll give them 6 wins max. I'm gonna go 6-11 for this team. I just don't. It's the Giants. I mean, come on. I mean, it's the Giants. How good can the Giants be with Wilson? I don't know. I think, like I said, I think Malik Neighbors is going to have a good year, but That's all I got to say about the Giants. They're always bad. I mean, they're never going to be good. So, all right, now we'll head over to the team that's in the same stadium with them, is the New York Jets. Justin Fields, welcome to reunite with Garrett Wilson. I think that's going to be pretty cool to watch, but this team is not going to be fun to watch because they're going to be bad. Yeah, I think this team gets 4 to 5 wins at max. I'm going to go 5-11 or 5-12 for the Jets. Sorry, I'm so used to the 16 game season. But the Jets will go 5-11, no playoffs, not going to be good. Wilson's going to need some help. Who is even the backup for Garrett Wilson? Why do I not know? Oh yeah, it's Tyrod Taylor. So it's just, I have no faith in the Jets. Their offense is not going to be good. Fields is just not supposed to be there. But I think he could connect very well with Garrett Wilson. So that's going to be fun to watch. But the Jets, just like the Giants, they're both going to be bad, and both New York teams, once again, will not make the playoffs. Moving on to a team that I hate with all my heart is the Philadelphia Eagles. But now they will be the first team to jump into the top category. I think they will max out once again as last year. I think they go 14-3 or 13-4. But the Eagles are at the top, the Super Bowl champs. I think their offense is going to be just as good. I know they've lost a couple pieces with some guys with trades and whatnot, so I can't remember who they were, but I know they've lost a little bit of key pieces during this offseason. But they also signed A.J. Dillon, which I actually forgot about, which is a very solid 1-2 punch with Barkley. Good Lord. 2 quad masters on that team. But no homo. But anyway, the Eagles will be good again. I think they do win the NFC East again. Unfortunately, I hate them with all my guts as a Cowboys fan. But the Eagles will be dominant as ever. And of course, easily they may win the division. They'll be in the playoffs. Eagles, first team to make the top category. 14 wins max. Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers. Oh my gosh. Is this the year? Is it the year that Mike Tomlin goes under 500? The answer is yes. For the first time in I don't know how long, the Steelers will finally go under 500. I am making that bold prediction now. I have no faith in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they won't go 7-10 or 8-9. But since it is the Steelers, they will go 8-9. Steelers are a 8-9 team this year. They will not make the playoffs. But yeah, they will finally miss out. I have no faith in this team. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be great. I bet he gets hurt again because he's in an AFC North where the defenses are actually good, besides, of course, the Bengals. But either way, it's going to be a tough season for the Steelers, but they're just going to be under 500 for the first time in forever, and they will miss the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is going to sell. I hate the Steelers. 8-9. Book it. All right, we move on to the Seattle Seahawks. How will this team be this year? I don't know. Sam Darnold is under center. You got Jackson Smith-Njigba, and you got Cooper Kupp. I think this team, I mean, what we saw was what Sam Darnold did with the Vikings. I think he could definitely do with Seattle. I think this team actually can make the playoffs. There's a chance. They're either going to make it or they're just going to get left out. I like this. I want to say this team's going to win 9 games, but I also want to give them 10. I mean, they were 10-7 last year. I think they can make the push. I think they can make the push. I'm going to go once again from what we saw Sam Darnold do. I think he can do again. I'm going to go 10-7 for the Seattle Seahawks with that offense. Can Kenneth Walker stay healthy is the biggest question mark for that running game for Seattle. So we'll see how that goes with them. But of course, you got a great backup. Zach Charbonnet is solid. So either way, I'm going to give the Seattle Seahawks 10 wins. I think they can make the playoffs. If not, they will get just left out. But I will say that they can make it because they definitely can. We're staying in the West. We got the San Francisco 49ers. Lots of changes with this team in the offseason. But I'm not, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's going to be again. I think the 49ers get left out of the playoffs again. They were 6-11 last year. I'm going to go with this team at 8-9. San Francisco is just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how much I can trust them. They're so inconsistent. One year they're great. The next year they're mid. Next year they're great. Next year they're mid, I swear. So I think the 49ers just miss out on the playoffs, 8-9 or 9-8, one or the other. Either way, no playoffs for the 49ers. And here's my prediction for easily the NFC South champs. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will do it again. They were 10-7 last year. I almost want to give them that same record, but I'm going to put them in that category. Baker Mayfield had a great year last year with this offense. Now they got Emeka Egbuka on that roster. I think Bucky Irving is now officially, if I'm correct, will be the starter for Tampa Bay. So I like this team a lot. Cade Otton's a very underrated tight end. I am going to give this team 11 wins. I think they're going to go 11-6 this year. They will run away with the NFC South. I think they win it by 2 or 3 games. And yeah, I like Tampa Bay a lot this year with this offense. They're going to host a home game in the playoffs. And yeah, they're going to be pretty good this year. I have very good faith in Baker Mayfield in this offense with Tampa Bay. All right, 2 teams left, and that's the Titans and Commanders. Tennessee, easy, bad. I don't think anybody in the NFL will have 2 or less wins this year. I don't see it happening. I really don't. So I think Tennessee is going to max out right really close with New Orleans, but I like them winning 4 games this year. Cam Ward now with that team, but they were 3-14 last year. I think they're going to be 3-14, honestly, again, because this team is not good. Very bad. I mean, they have got Tony Pollard last season, but they have Tyler Lockett, Van Jefferson. Oh no, just not good. Not good at all, guys. So we'll see how they roll, and of course they have Calvin Ridley, but not going to be a good season for Tennessee. It's going to be bad. I like them again at 3-14. Also one of the worst teams in the NFL, right there with the Saints. Either one of them can take the crown. My vote still is the Saints, but the Titans are very close. Last but not least, the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels had a great year last year. The Commanders completely threw me off guard. This is going to be quick and easy. Bam. I like this team at roughly 10-7. I think they can win 11 games. Last year, they were 12-5. Can they get a deal done with McLaurin? I believe so. Their defense is not too bad either, honestly. So we'll see how they roll. I think Deebo Samuel, could really get more and more involved with this offense. So I think 11-6 is very fair. They're going to be right there with Dallas. I think all 3. I think the Eagles, Cowboys, and Commanders all make the playoffs easily. But yeah, the Commanders make the playoffs. I think 10-7, but I like them at 10-7 officially. But I'm going to go with 11-6 and playoff bound for the Commanders. Okay, so I've realized that with all my teams that I have here, I was actually 2 teams short of actually the AFC playoffs. I only had 5 of the 7 teams making my playoff prediction, so I need to rephrase that. But I do have my NFC teams. We have the Eagles, we have the Cowboys, the Lions, the Packers, the Rams, and like I said, maybe the Seahawks or not, and then the Commanders and Buccaneers. I have all those teams for sure set in the playoffs, and then right there missing out is the Seattle Seahawks. I said they'd maybe make it, but they might miss it. We'll see. But my AFC teams, of course, I have the Bills, I have the Ravens, I have the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. I only have 5. So I have 2 teams that are still sitting out. So I will confidently say it will be the Broncos and the Bengals will just be the 2 outsiders with maybe 9-8 records making the division. I think the Broncos could have 10 wins, but I know this is definitely going to be wrong, but I'm just going to stick with it. I think both teams will be 9-8 and they'll just make the playoffs because I don't see the AFC being too dominant this year. The only teams that I can say that will be dominant in the AFC will be the Bills, Ravens, and the Chiefs. The Texans are kind of, they're injury prone, and how consistent can the Chargers really be with Justin Herbert? So we don't know that. But there's 3 teams in the NFC I can confidently say will be the Eagles, the Lions, and I believe the Packers. I think those 3 teams are definitely the most dominant in the NFC right now. So, like I'm saying, it is now officially time to narrow down the AFC and the NFC who's making Super Bowl 60. Now, with the NFC and AFC, what I mean by that is the championship games. So, I will confidently say there's probably going to be that team that just makes a run again. I mean, we all know it. Some random team might make a random run. Who knows who that can be? What makes it exciting. But like I said, I'm not too sure who that can be. Because, for example, the Commanders. What a run they went on last year. The Vikings. What a run they went on last year. Unbelievable. And then the Texans completely fooled us and were first-round exits. How does that happen? I don't know. So we'll see what happens this year. But I will confidently say, let's start out with the AFC. I almost want to say that this could be the year the Chiefs finally get dethroned from the AFC Championship game. I honestly almost don't want to say that they can make it, but here's the thing with the AFC. It's not that great. I mean, we're not going to see the Steelers making no run. We're not going to, the Dolphins, no. I mean, the Chargers are too inconsistent. I mean, and then the Texans are just mid. I mean, I don't know. I truly don't know. That's why I just don't know who can dethrone the Chiefs. It's got to be the Bills or the Ravens. And like, can we see the Bills and Ravens both making the AFC Championship game together? I don't know. I want to see that. Everybody in America would love to see that. But can it actually happen? We shall see. So, my official AFC Championship prediction. I mean, I think we already know my answer, though. It's going to be the Bills and Ravens. The Bills will play the Ravens in Baltimore for the AFC Championship game. Now we go to the NFC. I'm not going to say who wins that game yet. The NFC Championship game. I'm actually going to say it really quick. It won't be the Lions. The Lions will they will be eliminated once again in the divisional round. We will see them. If they don't win the division, they'll win one playoff game this year, but they'll go into somewhere else and they will lose. So unless it's Dallas, if it's in Dallas, Dallas will lose. But either way, we're not going to see that because Dallas is winning the division. So either way, Dallas will probably be a first-round exit in the playoffs. So either way, Lions will not make the NFC Championship game. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It is going to be the most disgusting, diabolical NFC Championship game I will ever see in my life. The NFC Championship game will be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. It's in. It's locked in. And once again, now Super Bowl 60 will be the Battle of the Birds. The Baltimore Ravens will play the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 60. Now, here's the thing. I really do not want to put the Eagles in the Super Bowl again. I don't. I really don't. It's very tough to do that. But I think this offense is just too good. The tush push also was not banned. I think this offense is going to be too good to be competing with. I like the Eagles in the Super Bowl once again. They'll play the Ravens. But my winner for Super Bowl 60, and welcome back. There will be no power outages this time. The Baltimore Ravens will return to the Superdome once again now to play the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 60. And the Eagles will be dethroned. The Ravens are my Super Bowl champions. Lamar Jackson's going to have a great year. Like I said, the wide receiver is a little stingy to me. I know that Zay Flowers had a great year this past year. I know they got DeAndre Hopkins. It was just kind of but I like this team. I think they can do it. I think Lamar's finally going to get it done because I don't know who, but somebody will beat the Chiefs. I don't know who it's going to be, but someone will. Ravens get it done. They are my official Super Bowl 60 champs. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. It feels great to be back here on YouTube, making my NFL prediction post. Definitely a lot of fun. I would love to do that for college, but that's a lot. So I'll probably just do the playoff bracket. But the Ravens are my official Super Bowl locks for this year. I don't think the Eagles can go back to back. So they're back in the Superdome. The Ravens are bound to be back. Not trying to live off nostalgic right now, but I think they can do it. That is my run for this year. Those are my tier lists for the teams. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you'd like. Subscribe to the channel and follow for TikTok. I'm trying to go live a little bit coming up. It's been a super busy summer for me, so it's been kind of hard to get on here. But it feels great to be back, posting a video again. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great Thursday today and a great weekend. I'll see you guys in the next one. It's our year, baby. Go Cowboys.